Hey guys, it's Dr. Daniel Sugai, board certified dermatologist. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in every Saturday for new long form videos. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about pores. This is a common question, pore size. Can you really shrink your pores? So we'll jump into that question today and just talk about if you have clogged pores or enlarged pores, what can we do to help with the appearance of them? So let's jump into it. So what are pores on the face? Pores are related to hair follicles with an associated sebaceous gland that produces oil, lubricates our skin. So these pores are openings of the hair follicle itself. So you can't remove them unless we physically cut them out, and you can't actually shrink them. It's not like an aperture that opens and closes with changes in temperature. Splashing cold water on your face or hot water will not influence the size of your pores. So things that will make them larger, number one, hormones. So teenagers will go through increase in sebum production and get really oily, and that trapped oil can enlarge your pores by becoming clogged. Another thing would be genetics. Everything comes down to genetics, right guys? Another would be aging and loss of elasticity, and I would even throw in photo aging where you have sun damage. You're getting the sun breaking up collagen and you're getting loss of elastic fibers. Having loss of structure, your pore size will appear larger because of the loss of structure. And finally, improper cleansing and falling asleep with your makeup. I always see this in clinic where my younger patients who are females go to sleep without washing their makeup off, and they start to clog up their pores, leading to whiteheads, blackheads, and even those little miniature cysts under the skin called milia. So we'll be talking about proper cleansing and what to do to help with the appearance of your pores. And another question I get a lot is pore strips. What are my thoughts on pore strips? Well, there are different pore strips out there, and Pore is the popular one out there that I've used. I remember from when I was like in med school or even maybe undergrad. You apply it to clean skin, that strip, and you let it sit for a few minutes and then you peel it off, and it's so gratifying seeing all those little columns of trapped keratin, dead skin cells, and sebum in each pore being pulled out by this adhesive tape. But it is temporary relief. It's not gonna give you relief long-standing where you're gonna have clear pores. It's just taking out what you have at the moment. And of course, if you don't change your habits, your cleansing habits and practices, you will have clogging of those pores once again. I have to caution though, for charcoal pore strips, that was probably the most traumatizing thing I applied to my face, where it actually peeled the epidermis off of my nose. So be very careful of those adherent pore strips. That can be traumatizing to the skin. It left some hyperpigmentation for a bit. I had to treat it with some Cicaplast Balm B5 from Roche Posay and wear lots of sunscreen, even tinted sunscreen, to prevent that hyperpigmentation from worsening. And it eventually cleared, but I was pretty upset that that pore strip that was sent to me from Pore actually was way too traumatizing. So I've been telling my patients, don't do it, okay? Don't go after your pores with those tools, those comedonal extractors if you're able to. The pore vacuums, very traumatizing to your skin. And I've seen a few young patients come in with permanent broken blood vessels, telangiectasias, in areas where they tried to suction the pores and get all that junk out. Yes, it seems very satisfying and gratifying like the pore strip, but it is too traumatizing to the skin. And when you have broken blood vessels, the only way to get rid of it would be to use a red laser called a V-beam laser or pulse dye laser that targets hemoglobin in those little blood vessels, breaks them up, causes a little bruise, and it goes away. But of course, lasers can be quite expensive. Next would be scrubbing way too hard. I have patients who are trying to scrub away the whiteheads and blackheads, and they scrub too hard and they traumatize the skin barrier, or they're using an exfoliating brush, a battery-powered brush. Way too traumatizing to the skin. When you cleanse, just use your fingertips. So what actually helps? Let's break it down into a skincare routine. Number one, in the morning, you're gonna cleanse your face. If you feel very oily, you definitely wanna go for a foaming cleanser in the morning. If you're not too oily, go for a gentle cleanser like Cetaphil's Gentle Skin Cleanser. Pretty easy to remember. Cetaphil has done a great job with their products, including their moisturizers, where they're putting glycerin, panthenol, and niacinamide. And I want niacinamide in my cleansers and moisturizers if I'm having clogged pores, because what does niacinamide do? It helps regulate sebum production. If you have an overproduction of sebum, it will help tone that down and brighten your skin. And so I like niacinamide a lot in small doses. You don't need to get a niacinamide serum. I've repeated this on many TikToks and shorts and also other long form videos where niacinamide serums are way too irritating at 10%. You only need small amounts of it mixed into your other skincare products. Now, a good example of a foaming cleanser that would work well with niacinamide would be CeraVe's Foaming Cleanser or La Roche-Posay's Toleriane Purifying Foaming Cleanser, which I love. It's one of my favorite cleansers of all time, and I've used that the longest. It foams up really nicely and works well when I have to shave. I get it all lathered up and I use it as like a shaving gel. So it's a nice, gentle cleanser that just a little goes a long way, and that bottle will last you a long time. After you cleanse, you go ahead and moisturize. You can use a moisturizer with niacinamide, or you can use a moisturizer with SPF. If you use a standalone moisturizer, say CeraVe PM lotion, which you can totally use in the AM, you would have to follow up with a sunscreen, because what we want to do is not just hydrate your skin by trapping in the hydration with the moisturizer, but we have to protect our pores from the sun, because the UV rays when we leave the house is very damaging. And when I see advanced cases of UV damage, of sun damage, I see it in the form of this cutis rhomboidalis nuchae, where at the back of your neck, you get these geometric polygonal creases in your neck. And I usually see that in people who have been lifeguards or farmers, and they have chronic sun exposure leading to those creases in their neck. The other advanced form, besides just freckles, white spots, red spots, would be very enlarged pores, where it gets clogged up with really dark, black, almost raisin-like keratin. You can line all along the cheekbone here, and it's very common in people with long-term sun exposure who didn't wear sunscreen. So that's an advanced case where the pores start to really enlarge. You get multiple cysts, whiteheads and blackheads, and that's called Favre-Rochechot syndrome. That's a very common syndrome I see in my patients, probably in their ages 65 and up. So big thing for those who are young out there, who still can make a difference in their skin: wear sunscreen every day for sure. And if you are, say, age 60 or 65, it's not too late to start a sunscreen on a daily basis. Sunscreen is important. You can use a dedicated sunscreen from like Elta MD, UV Clear, UV Daily. There are UV Elements if you want a tinted option. If you want a moisturizer with SPF, go ahead and use La Roche-Posay's Toleriane Double Repair UV. You can use the Collagen Bank by Neutrogena that has peptides in it. If you are mid-30s and up, go ahead and use a peptide-containing moisturizer with SPF. I really like CeraVe's facial moisturizing lotion with niacinamide, but this is their newer one. It's the SPF 50, much more lightweight than their SPF 30. Go ahead and apply your favorite SPF 30 and above before walking out the door. And make sure if you're outside, reapply every 1 to 2 hours. Then at bedtime, you wanna focus on exfoliating gently. You don't wanna over exfoliate. You don't need physical exfoliants where you need the beaded St. Ives stuff that's real harsh for your skin. You wanna use chemical exfoliants that are gentle. So gentle would be salicylic acid, CeraVe, SA cleanser, or their acne control cleanser, Cetaphil gentle exfoliating SA cleanser. Great options. I have in my shower the La Roche-Posay Effaclar salicylic acid 2%. That's a BHA, beta hydroxy acid, that goes down into your pores and cleans out your pores. So you want to have something nice like that to end your day with. I wear surgical mask when I do my excisions, I gotta wash out all that sunscreen on my face, or if you have makeup, go ahead and double cleanse, and you can even follow up after your oil-based cleanser, micellar water, with even a salicylic acid cleanser. Another exfoliating cleanser you can consider would be a benzoyl peroxide cleanser, either 4 to 10%, 10% stronger, of course. Maybe something you can consider for body acne. You can wash your body after workouts. 4% much gentler, and CeraVe makes a nice creamy foaming wash that has 4% benzoyl peroxide. You can see in Panoxyl. So different brands that have made nice benzoyl peroxide products that you can consider that's exfoliating and also kills the bacteria that's feeding off of the trapped sebum leading to acne. So I actually have both in my bathroom, and I will alternate between the two. All right, so after you cleanse either with salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide, I wouldn't double up and do both, just choose one. Go ahead and use a retinoid, and a retinoid would be, we talk about on the channel, I love retinoids so much. They are vitamin A derivative ingredient that works well on cell turnover. It will help increase collagen production, support those pores. And actually the cool thing about them is that they will actually prevent the lining of the pores from shedding into the pore itself and keep them clear. And that's how it works on acne. It will keep your pores clear and thus help with the appearance of your pores. Different retinoids out there. My favorite, hands down, for those who are looking into pore appearance would be Alpha Ret by Skin Better Science, but it is at a higher price point, but you're getting the alpha hydroxy acids paired with your retinoid. If you want something more affordable, you can look into Neutrogena has made a nice regenerating cream. Number 7, they're 1%. Rock, always one of my favorite over-the-counter retinols that you can consider. That was the first brand I used when I was a derm resident. You just use a pea-sized amount at bedtime. Don't double up and use different ones. Adapalene is probably the best over-the-counter retinoid you can use to clear out your pores. I'm still not convinced it works well on wrinkles. It might, but we need more studies around that. But Differin gel, get the 45-gram tube, and La Roche-Posay both make a gel made of adapalene 0.1%, which is over the counter in the US. So consider those and stay with it at bedtime. But the thing you always have to do after your retinoid, moisturize. So always apply a nice layer of moisturizer over your retinoid. Niacinamide containing moisturizers we talked about would be the CeraVe PM. If you have oilier skin, you can get Oil Control Moisturizing Gel Cream by CeraVe. This is their newer one. And I haven't talked about this one on the channel, but it has niacinamide and it has hyaluronic acid. And I'll just show you the texture of it real quick. Very lightweight. The other one that you can consider with niacinamide that's good for oily skin would be La Roche-Posay's Toleriane Matte Moisturizer. That one's a gel, very similar in texture to CeraVe's Oil Control Gel Cream. So consider those with niacinamide. If you want a nice moisturizer for your face and body, Cetaphil has a niacinamide, so their moisturizing cream or their lotion will have it in their products like we talked about before, and you can use that, either the cream or the lotion, on your face and body. So that's a nice hack there, that if you want just one product, nice moisturizing product, go ahead and get Cetaphil's moisturizing cream or moisturizing lotion. So real quick on treatments you can consider in office with your dermatologist. You can do laser resurfacing, microneedling, chemical peels, all of those things you can consider with your dermatologist. Talk to them if you're a good candidate. But for laser resurfacing, microneedling, you're causing some trauma to the skin and trying to regrow collagen in a nice controlled way. And then chemical peels may do that as well, controlled micro trauma to the skin, but it definitely has exfoliant acids as well. It might have glycolic acid, salicylic acid, lactic acid, and those things will help clear out your pores as well. So I like to do a chemical peel for myself at least 3 to 4 times a year if I'm able to. So can you erase your pores? No. If you have an enlarged, dilated pore of Weiner, say it's really big, you know, raisin-like blackhead, the only way to get rid of it is not just squeezing it. You actually got to physically remove that pore by cutting it. And a lot of times we use a punch tool to remove dilated pores, and we have to throw in some stitches to close it up, and you'll be left with a scar. So can we erase pores? No, but we can keep them clear with retinoids, cleansing properly, either with salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide at the end of the day, starting your day nicely with a nice gentle cleanse, and focus on long-term healthier skin with sunscreen use. So leave a comment with your #1 skincare myth you want me to tackle next, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Please share with your friends who are into skincare. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.